Hi guys, today we are going to talk about binomial trees. It is a method of called option valuation. So we'll see how to value options using binomial trees. There are two models that we are going to discuss. One is one-step binomial model and the other is two-step binomial model. So in one-step binomial model, uh, it is the model best described within a state world where prices can go up either or can go down at an ahead of time, maybe at the end of the holding period. So I will take an example and we'll solve a problem so that we can understand this. So calculate the value of call option assuming the following. Stock price is 100 today, strike price is 125, time is T1, time at T1 is 1 year, interest rate is 8%, upstate value of stock is 200 and downstate value of stock is 50. Based on these information, we need to calculate the price of the value of the call. So let us start. So in the given problem, it is given that the value of the stock now is 100 and it can go up to 200 in upstate, and downstate it can go down to 50. So cal value will be maximum 75, that is 100 minus strike price of 125 at upstate, and downstate it will be 0 because it goes down. So assuming in this portfolio, so this is a cell call. So assuming this portfolio is a key in binomial tree, so this portfolio should be assumed in every question while finding out the value of call option or option in using binomial tree. So this portfolio consists of a long position in delta number of shares and a short position in one call option. So at 200, when stock value is at 200, the portfolio value will be 200 into number of shares minus 75, which is our upstate value of the call, and upstate payoff of the call, not value. And at 50, portfolio value will be 50 into delta, that is number of shares, because call at downstate will have 0 value. So equating both, we'll be getting delta is equal to 0.5 and the value of portfolio is 50 into 0.5 or 200 into 0.5 minus 75. The both will give the same result, that is 25. So today the value of the portfolio is equal to 25 into e raised to, this is the value of this 25 is the value of the portfolio after 1 year. So now the value of portfolio is equal to 25 into e raised to minus 0.08 into 1, that is number of years, which will give you 23.08. So now the shares value of shares now is 100 into 0.5, which we have already calculated here, which will give us 50. 100 is the value of shares today into 0.5 is the number of share, delta number of shares. So value of call today is long value minus the portfolio value. So long value is equal to 50, the number of share value, and minus 23.08 is the total portfolio value, which will give us 26.92, which is nothing but our value of the call. This is how we calculate the value of the call using binomial tree model. One of the major concepts in valuation of derivatives is risk neutral valuation. So it is like the value of one price. The law of one price states that if two investment have the same cash flows at same times in future, then they should both sell at same price. So it is based on risk neutral valuation. It is kind of a risk-free rate valuation, and this same concept is also being used in binomial trees, assuming that the market participant expect return at risk-free rate. So that is the expectation from the market participants, and this is being used in binomial trees also, and it is also being used in investment valuation as well. So the one-step binomial model can be expressed in terms of probabilities and call prices. So probability is being calculated by this formula, e raised to rt minus d divided by u minus d. The other probability of downstate is obviously 1 minus the probability of upstate. So upstate, the moment size of up move u is calculated by e raised to sigma into root t, where sigma is the volatility and root t is the length of the time in which the binomial tree operates. So d is 1 by u. So these are the factors that we need to consider by valuing in under risk neutral valuation. With an example, we'll see how it goes on. So guys, consider this example. The current price of downscale key excipient is incorporated is $20. The annual standard deviation is 14%. The continuously compounded risk-free rate is 4% per annum. Assume downhill pays no dividends. Compute European option 1 year. Strike price 20 using a 1 period binomial model. So the problem with this binomial model is that it has not given us upstate and downstate value. So first you'll have to compute that, and the percentage means percentage of probability of upstate and downstate also it is not given. So we'll have to find out both. So upstate, where we have a formula u is equal to e raised to sigma into root t, that will give us upstate value. So and downstate value will be 1 divided by u. So value of u is equal to 1.15 as computed, e raised to 0.14 into root 1, and d is equal to 1 by 1.15 is equal to 0.87. So multiply this with the our current stock price, we will get the upstate value, and multiply d with our current stock price, we will get downstate value. So we will have to calculate the probability at upstate and probability at downstate. Probability of upstate, we'll have the formula e raised to rt minus d divided by u minus d, and for downstate the probability is calculated by 1 minus upstate probability. So while putting in the equation, e raised to 0.04, which is a risk-free rate, into 1, which is time period, minus d, which is 1.15, u is equal to 0.87 minus d, u is 1.15, d is 0.87, which gives 0.61, and the rest probability of downstate will be 0.37. So then we'll have to find out the stock value and option value, as we have to assume a portfolio with stock and option so as to value the option. So for the stock, 20 will go up to 23 and it will go down to 17.4 as calculated by our d and u values. And for binomial tree option, if the option goes up to 23, the value of the option is 3, and if it goes down to 17.4, the value will be 0. So expected value of the option in 1 year is 3, which is 23 minus 0 into the probability 0.61 plus 0 into 0.39%, which will give us 1.83. So at year 1 the value of option is 1.83. So we'll discount it back to year 0, which is 1.83 divided by e raised to 1.04 into 1, which will give us 1.0408, which is 1.76. So value of the present value of the call option now today is 1.76. This is how we value using risk neutral model, which is pretty straightforward. Using delta to develop a replicating portfolio. So firstly, why to develop a replicating portfolio? A replicating portfolio is to be developed so that the risk is eliminated completely. So if you see, there are 3 terms that we need to learn here. First one is hedge ratio, the next is delta, and the other is delta hedging. If you see, hedge ratio is let's take the pointer. So hedge ratio indicates the number of assets units needed to completely eliminate the price volatility of one call option. So that is what hedge ratio is. It means the number of assets means stock or bonds or whatever it is, needed to completely eliminate the price volatility of one single option. The hedge ratio is also known as delta, and constructing a riskless position is sometimes known as delta hedging. So these 3 terms we need to remember, and for illustrating this, we'll take an example where strike price is 125, stock price is 100, it can go up to 200 and go down to 50. So if you take any combination of say stock and option, the value of this total strategy is going to remain $50 only. So at 50, if it goes down to 50, the gain is only of the stock. So because we have a long call option, we won't be exercising that. So the gain will be, we already have shorted our one stock which was trading at 100, so we'll gain 50. So if it goes up to 200, we will be losing 100 because we are at short position in a stock, and we'll be gaining 150 from 2 call two long call options, since 125 minus 200 will be 75 into 2 150. So the net gain will be again 50. So we said that if since the terminal value of the strategy is always net 50, the present value of strategy would be 50 into e raised to minus 0.008 into 1, because 8% is assumed to be the risk-free rate, so which gives a 46.16. Therefore the value of call option would be 100 minus 2 into C is equal to 46.16. so C might be 26.92. so this is how we illustrate development of a replicating portfolio. We'll go further and see what is delta. Delta says that one option contract is needed for each half of stock. If you see the last example, if you take CU minus CD by SU minus SC, C at the upper limit will be 175 minus lower limit 0. Here SU upper side it would be 200, lower side would be 50. So here we'll get 75 divided by 150, which is equal to 0.5. So delta says that one option contract is needed for half share of stock. The reciprocal of delta is equivalent to number of option contract to buy per stock share of stock that was sold short. Note the delta does not remain constant, it will change over time. So this is what it says. Since delta is 0.5, it says that one option contract is needed for each half of stock. So that's why we have taken two long position for one short position of the stock in that example. So delta of stock option tells us how many units of stock to hold per call option to be shorted to make hedge work. So it tells us how many, if we have a long call option, how many we will have to take 0.5 of the stock, so that the net position is riskless. In a single period model, the delta is calculated as delta is equal to CU minus CD divided by SU minus SD. This is a simple formula to calculate delta, and this is how we replicate a portfolio and make it riskless. Replicating a portfolio means making it riskless. So the problem by using this formula, we find out what is the delta we need, and that many stock we will hold for one call option. Synthetic call replication is only a model of pricing of bonds. The call price is calculated by the formula delta into stock price minus PV of borrowing. Here if you see, the PV of borrowing is nothing but the value of this portfolio that we hold. Portfolio in the sense the call option and the hedged stock which is short sold. So PV of the borrowing if you take, and if you have a stock price and delta, we can easily calculate the call price. Here if you see 0.5 into 100 and present value of borrowing, that is 50 in the previous example, and the present value of 50 is for after 1 year at rate 0.08, that is 8% is 46.16. so we can get the call price as 26.92. so that's said in synthetic call replication. Two-step binomial model and model modifications. So how to calculate? As I've said you, there are two types of binomial model. One is one-step binomial model, the other one is two-step binomial model. So this is how we calculate the value of a call option or put option using two-step binomial model. So we'll take an example and we'll explain that. So firstly, the example goes like current price of Dunwell's key is $20. The annuity standard deviation is 14. Strike price is 20. Risk-free rate is 4%. Value 2-year call and 2-year put. So that's what we need to value. So first, as we know, the U and D, we have to upper state and lower state of our stock price we will have to compute. So U is equal to E raised to 0.414, which is standard deviation the root of T. T is equal to time 1. So in this one key point we will have to remember is, don't take, because year is 2, don't take year as 2. We will have to compute it in a systematic manner. First you will have to find out the value of our stock at year 1, and then we'll have to move forward to year 2. So while computing U and the probability of upstate at 1 year, we'll have to take year as 1. Then we'll have to take here again this one and take arrive at the next year's probability and upstate value of the stock. So while doing that, u is equal to e raised to sigma into root t. Sigma is given as 14%. So take 0.54 into root of 1 is equal to 1.15 and d is equal to 0.87. Similarly, we'll need to find out the probability for reaching this upstate and downstate, which is given by e raised to rt minus d by u minus d. Here e raised to rt is given as r is given at 0.04% per annum. So the result is 0.61% at upstate, and downstate is 1 minus 0.61, which is nothing but 0.39. So the share, which is at 20, will reach 23 at TL1, which is nothing but 20 into 1.15, and multiplying 0.87 into 20 will get 17.4. This 17.4 will reach 15.1, either 15.14 at year 2 or 20, which is 23 into which is nothing but 23 into 0.87, or 17.4 into 1.15. Both will give the result 20. This 23 will reach 26.45, which is 23 into 1.15, or 20, which is 23 into 0.87 at year 2. So now we have to value our call at year 2. The expected call value will be multiplying the probabilities of all these four with our call value at year 2. Call value is at year 2 will be based on the exercises and lapses. Here we have a call option with us. So if we have purchased a call option, we'll only exercise it after 20, because the strike price is given as 20. So everything is below 20 here, and after 20 there is only one probability, that is when if the stock price of reaches 23 and again it reaches 26.45, then only we will be exercising this. So that probability alone will be taking, that is 0.61 into 0.61 into 6.45, which is 2.40. We can also calculate like plus 0.61 into 0.39 into 0 and 0.39 into 0.39 into 0. Likewise, we can calculate all this probability, but that will obviously result in 0, because this is the only thing we are going to exercise. So 2.40 is the value of the call after 2 years. So we will bring back it to now. For that, we will have to use the 2 years. So call option now is 2.4 into e raised to 0.04 into 2, which is rt e raised to rt. So we will get 2.21. So now value input is very easy. We'll have to use the put call parity function, which gives put is equal to call minus stock price plus strike price into e raised to rt minus e raised to rt. So which gives 0.67. That's how we value put and call using two-step binomial model. First we'll have to find out the upstate value and the downstate value, then the probability of reaching upstate, the probability of reaching downstate, then the binomial tree we'll have to create based on the values, upstate value and downstate value. So and then from the probability of reaching that here, reaching the upstate and downstate, we'll need to find out the expected call and expected put value, expected call value. Then from expected call value, we'll be finding out the present value of present value of call value. From call value, we'll be finding out put. This is the flow that we'll have to go while computing the put and call option values as per two-step binomial model. Thank you. Modifying the binomial model. The binomial model should be modified for dividend yield and also for the currency asset and currency liabilities. But for binomial option pricing model can be altered to value the stock that pays continuous dividend Q. It can be altered in such a way that e raised to r minus q raised to t. This means that q gives a positive yield, which is a dividend yield is always positive, or capital gain yield, whichever is it. It is assumed to be a continuous dividend yield and it gives a positive yield. So r should be reduced that much. So e raised to r minus q the whole into t minus d by u minus d. Probability of d is equal to probability of the downstate is equal to 1 minus probability of the up state. So this is how the probability function is altered by if the stock pays continuous dividend. For options on currencies, it is assumed that foreign currency asset provides an equal return equal to foreign currency foreign risk-free rate of interest, that is RFC, and as a result, the upward probability in the binomial function is altered by replacing e raised to rt with e raised to rdc minus RFC into all raised to t. DC is nothing but domestic currency. So domestic currency is the risk-free rate here minus the risk-free rate in the foreign country is RFC. So into T. That is what which is so RFC is assumed to be positive, just like a dividend yield. So that is how we alter this formula of the for finding out the probabilities at upstate and downstate, so that we can work it with our binomial tree models. Coming to American options. So valuing the American option with a binomial model requires a consideration of ability of the holder to exercise early. So the major difference between American options and European options is that American options hold a right to exercise early, whereas European options can only be exercised at maturity. So we'll explain this taking an example. The current price of uphill monitoring is 10, the up move factor is 1.2, and the down move factor is 0.833. The probability of up move is 0.51 and probability of down move is 0.49. These four figures that they have given can also be calculated. The up move factor can be calculated, U can be calculated by e raised to sigma into root t. Sigma means this volatility and root t means time, the time length of the period that we are taking. And this probability can be calculated by e raised to rt minus d divided by u minus d. That is the formula for calculating the probability of up move factor. Down move factor is 1 minus up move factor, probability of up move factor. So risk-free rate is 2%, 2-year American put option with a strike price of 12. So we'll have to calculate the put option. Okay, so this is how it goes. At S0 it is 10, it will go up to 12, that is 10 into 1.2, and it can go down to 8.33, that is 10 into 8.33, 0.833. This 12 can go up to 14.4 and can come down to 10. This 8.33 can go up to 10 and come down to 6.94. Okay, so what we'll do is, the key criteria here is standing at year 1 and valuing year 2 and then discounting it back. So I'm standing at year 1, the expected value of put option at year 2 we are valuing. Year 1, I'll first take the scenario, it goes up. I am standing at SU and valuing what happens next. So standing at SU, I see that if it goes to 14.4, since it is a put option, the value of the stock has increased. So I won't be exercising the option, I will be I'll be lapsing that. So 0 into 0.51. In the downgrade it is 10 and my value is 12. So it is lesser than my exercise price. So I'll be exercising the option. Since it is a put option, I have a right to sell at 10. So I'll be selling. So 2 I'll gain, 2 into 0.49, and I'll be bringing this back to my year 1. That for that we'll be discounting with 0.02 into 1 year. So e raised to 0.02 into 1 year will give me 0.96. Then standing at 1, I'll decide whether I'll have to I'll be exercising this early or I'll be moving to next year. So standing at 1, I see that my exercise at 12, my exercise is 0. I'll not be gaining anything, so it is 0. Better I won't be exercising at this point. So coming to scenario 2, now I am going and standing at SD, that is 8.33, and I am trying to value it is here and here. So at SD, when I stand, the expected payoff would be like, if it goes to 10, I'll get to 12 rupees, and if it comes down, then I'll be gaining somewhere around 5 point, it is written 0.56, but it is 5 point something. It is how much? 6.94. 6.94 means 5.06. It is 5.06. Right. So 5.06 will be gaining into 0.49. So then I will be bringing it back to first year, that is 0 is to 0.02 into 1 year, which gives me 3.43. So payoff at the early exercise, I'm standing here and I'm thinking about exercising it here itself. So payoff of year 1 is equal to 12 minus 8.33, that is 3.63. So I see that if I can exercise at a higher price than if I wait for 1 year at when I go to SD, so I'll be exercising better, I'll exercise. So value of option L value, then the option valuation comes. This is only finding out whether to exercise or whether not. So while valuing option, I'll be taking the highest expected possible outcome, that is 0.96 at the up stage and 3.67 at the down stage. So 3.67 into 0.41 plus 0.96 into 0.51, and I'll be bringing it back to now. So we're bringing it back e raised to 0.02 into 1, so which gives us $2.24, which is our value of the option. So this is how we value an American option using the binomial tree. It is pretty easy. Thing is that we'll have to go and stand at year 1 to value year 2 and year 2 to value year 3. So if it is there are more binomial trees like this, they'll be standing there and valuing the next leg and bringing it back. So that's how the valuation happens. Hope you are clear. Increasing the number of periods. If we continue to shrink the length of the intervals in the model until the what mathematicians call arbitrarily small, we approach a continuous time as the limiting case in binomial model. So what happens is, if we continue to reduce the time, what will happen is there will be more and more branches, and it would be difficult for us to value like we valued in this particular video. So for this, there is another model called Maxwell-Merton models, which will be discussed in coming videos. Thank you. Hi guys, if you like my video, like, share and subscribe. If you have any suggestion, please comment. Thank you.